Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Billy Gashade by Loren D. Estleman, narrated by George Guidall. This book is copyrighted 1997 by Loren D. Estleman. This recording is copyrighted 2003 by Recorded Books. Billy Gashade is a wandering musician, crossing the young United States in the late 1800s and introducing us to its most colorful characters along the way. Calamity Jane, Billy the Kid, Chief Crazy Horse, Oscar Wilde, and many more cross paths with Billy in the sweeping epic of American history. And now, Billy Gashade.
Part 1. A Selection of Hells. Chapter 1. My birth name doesn't matter, although that wasn't always the case. If you've patience enough to page through the New York Social Register, and in my time there were many who built entire careers on doing no more than that, you're sure to come across someone or other who bore it clear back to Peter Minuet. No, my birth name doesn't matter, and I won't tell it now, even though all my enemies are dead. The truth is, I've gone by Billy Gashade for so many years, full 4 times as many as I answered to the other, that if someone were to address me by the name under which I was baptized, I'd keep on walking as like as not. In any case, neither name displaces much cargo now. If you're the kind of moviegoer who sits through the opening credits instead of going out for Cracker Jacks, you won't find me listed there, despite the fact that I wrote 3 songs for Gene Autry to sing in Phantom Empire, and 2 in Tumbling Tumbleweeds, and composed the entire score for a Porky Pig cartoon. Not bad in a Depression year for a man of 88. I pocketed the cash for this work, and let others slap their brands on it, not because I'm modest, but because any kind of attention sooner or later gets back to New York, and I didn't want to take the chance of one of my old blue-blood acquaintances recognizing my features in a wire photograph after all these years and spreading the news through the season boxes at the Met that the judge's son is making his living as some kind of Tin Pan Alley songster in Hollywood, California. I don't care a damn what they say, but my father always did, and I respect that dead gent too much to let those hypocrites have the satisfaction of dragging his name through horseshit. It isn't a bad living at that. There are no summers in Newport or autumns in Europe, but I have a small apartment I find comfortable at Pacific Palisades, with a dandy view of the ocean when I stand in the northwest corner of the living room and crank my head, a 2-block walk to the bus stop, and at an age when most men require strained turnips in a bedpan, I have my health. Not to mention a pretty young blonde named Myra to bring me my meals on those occasional days when I'm too stove up to go out. Her mother, my landlady, carries my rent when the studios aren't calling, and floats loans to her oldest tenant when his less understanding creditors come around. But then I've always had the good fortune to make the acquaintance of generous ladies. You'd know this one. Not so long ago, when pictures didn't talk, she did her communicating with Rod LaRocque, Valentino, and a score of other pop-eyed foreign male leads by means of a black lace fan, usually to their ruin in the last reel. She was billed as Annick Diriger, which, if my drawing-room French isn't too rusty, translates as Annie of the Erection. And she had her day right up until she tested for her first role in a talkie, and her Flatbush accent landed her on her girdle, square in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. Since then, along with a dead husband and property, she's acquired a fair approximation of a Parisian way of speech, which only deserts her when one of her succession of bad housekeepers neglects to clean an apartment she wants to show a prospective tenant, or she encounters a
Sample complete. Ready to continue?